What's up, Multiverse? Dr. Dave here. Welcome to the Geek Lounge. So Comic-Con season here in the UK has officially kicked off this weekend with MegaCon London, and I thought now would be the perfect time to do a current signed Funko Pop collection. We've actually got quite a few to get through though, so let's waste no time. Alright, we're going to kick things off with the only signed Funko Pop I have in my collection where I actually haven't met the guest. Every other signed Funko Pop I have in this video, I have physically met the person who has signed it. So this is Michael McIntyre. Who on earth is Michael McIntyre for those of you outside the UK? Because I don't believe he has conquered international markets as much. He is a much beloved and very, very popular UK comedian. I think Funko just gave him a Funko Pop similar to like they've done with Fluffy Iglesias, Jeff Dunham. It is Jeff Dunham, right? The puppeteer. So he actually sold it on his store and he was selling both non-signed and signed. So being a fan of his, I decided to buy a signed one. As a really big fan of wrestling as well as the WWE, I do have to admit that my WWE signed Funko Pop collection is pretty paltry. I do only have these three, but they are the three faces of the one and only WWE Hall of Famer and hardcore legend Mick Foley. We've got Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love. You guys may not be able to tell because he kind of incorporated them in his signatures, but Cactus Jack does actually have Bang Bang, Mankind does actually say Have a Nice Day, and with Dude Love we've got the owl on there. That was probably an horrendous impression, but I also love how he incorporated the heart there for the Dude Love signature. Right, we're going to move on to movies next, because although I do have a lot of movie Funko Pops, I don't really have very many of them signed, but the three I do have signed are all absolutely epic. We got Zachary Levi signed Shazam, the Glow Chase edition. We got the Hot Topic exclusive Bellatrix signed by Helena Bonham Carter, and more recently added to my collection, Lord Voldemort. That's actually the Pop in a Box exclusive with Nagini, signed by the one and only Ralph Fiennes. Moving on to some TV next. First up, we got a few different franchises where I literally only own one signed pop in that franchise, if that makes sense. So from left to right, we got Ciri from The Witcher signed by Freya Allen, Jackie from Yellow Jacket signed by Ella Purnell, Charlie from Supernatural signed by Felicia Day, and Vanya the Chase variant from the Umbrella Academy signed by Elliot Page. All really awesome people if you get the chance to meet them. I should also say Zach, Helena, as well as Rafe were also all very awesome. I just want to try and keep guest interactions to a minimum in this video, otherwise we're going to be here all day. One of my favourite TV shows of all time, easily in my top 5, maybe even in my top 3, is Sons of Anarchy, and I do actually have two of them signed. Jax Teller signed by Charlie Hunnam and Opie Winston signed by Ryan Hurst. I just mentioned I won't go too much into guest interactions, but I will say Ryan Hurst sadly was probably the worst guest interaction I've ever had. When I say worse, he wasn't like mean, he wasn't rude or anything like that, he just wasn't really interactive at all. All my questions were pretty much yes and no answers, whereas Charlie was super duper awesome. It was like such a pleasure to meet him. He did actually also draw a little anarchy symbol here on the side, always a welcome addition to your Funko Pop. And another show I'm a big fan of, though to think about it, I probably actually wouldn't own a pop for something that I'm not a fan of, let alone get it signed, right? But this is Vikings. From left to right, we've got Lagatha signed by the wonderful Catherine Winnick, Rolo signed by Clive Standen, who actually wrote Rock and Rolo and did also write Don't Die Stupidly. Skull on the side, as I said, it's always a really cool addition when you get things like that. And we do also have Floki signed by Gustav Skarsgård, who I feel has one of the most vibrant full-on signatures in the game. He did also write Floki down at the bottom there, which is in Norse, I believe. Next up, we got some Walking Dead. From left to right then, we've got the bloody 7-Eleven exclusive Carl signed by Chandler Riggs with the little quote, I win. I didn't even ask him to do that, so that was very, very cool. We've got Ezekiel signed by Corey Payton. Likewise, I didn't ask for this, but he did write Welcome to the Kingdom there on the side. We've got Jesus signed by Tom Payne, as well as the 2017 Fall Convention exclusive Dwight signed by Austin A. Mello. All really awesome dudes. I didn't mention the Vikings guys, also awesome, especially Corey Payton. He was one of the best guests I've ever met. Such a freaking cool dude. I definitely need to add more signed Walking Dead Funko Pops into the collection. Next up, we got The Boys. I was actually a huge fan of the comic book series, and although the TV adaptation is a lot different, I absolutely freaking love it as well. From left to right then, we've got Mother's Milk signed by Laz Alonso. He just wrote Got Milk on there. I think he does that to everyone's pops, but a nice cool little addition. We've then got the 2020 Emerald City Con exclusive sticker Deep signed by Chase Crawford. He also wrote this on the side. I'm going to let you guys read that for yourselves. Not that I don't have a potty mouth, but I do try to keep it off YouTube. We've then got A Train, pardon me, signed by Jesse T. Usher, who also wrote a little message here on the side. Again, I'm not going to read that out. And then we do have the one and only Homelander, signed by the one and only Anthony Starr. All four of these guys, absolutely awesome to me if you ever get the chance. Finishing up TV, or I should at least say live action TV, or maybe even live action TV that isn't Star Wars, we have the phenomenon that is Stranger Things. Bottom left then we've got Nancy, signed by Natalia Dyer. Bottom centre we've got Jonathan, signed by Charlie Heaton. And bottom right we've got Argyle, signed by Eduardo Franco. Then top left we have Susie, signed by Gabriella Pizzolo. Top middle we've got Dustin, signed by Gaten Matarazzo. And top right we have Alexi, signed by Alec Utgoff. And he did also add the quote, "No Jerry, no deal." On to the signed Star Wars collection next. I'm actually going to split things up, so we're going to have animation and gaming and then live action as well. It just kind of makes things a little bit easier. There's not so many pops on the tables that you guys have to look at all at once. So from left to right then we have Darth Maul from the Clone Wars, signed by his voice actor Sam Witwer. We've got the Grand Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels, signed by his voice actor Jason Isaacs. We've got Bastilla Shan from the Knights of the Old Republic video game, signed by her voice actor Jennifer Hale. And then we've got Cal Kestis with BD1, signed by his voice actor Cameron Monaghan. He did also write on the side, "May the Force be with you." From the Bad Batch animated series, we do have the 5-pack of Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, and Echo, signed by D. Bradley Baker. If you guys didn't know, he does voice all of the Bad Batch on the show. I did also get him to add the quote, "When have we ever followed orders?" Bit of a spoiler, I suppose, if you've never watched the show with that quote. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. And then we do also have Omega, signed by Michelle Ang. Onto the live action stuff then, and from the Book of Boba Fett, we do have Boba Fett himself, signed by the one and only Tamara Morrison. And we do also have Fennec Shand, signed by the one and only Ming-Na Wen. Yes, that pop is technically the Mandalorian variant, but I figured they go well together. Speaking of the Mandalorian, I do have these 5 characters signed from left to right. We've got Axwo, signed by Simon Cassianidis. He did also write for Mandalore on the side. We have the Armourer, signed by Emily Swallow. The Mandalorian there in the middle, it's not signed by Pedro Pascal, but by Brendan Wayne, with the quote, "This is the way." If you guys didn't know, Brendan Wayne is pretty much the guy in the suit. So there's Lateef Crowder, I think that's his name anyhow. He does all of the stunts. There's Brendan Wayne, who's predominantly in the suit, and then there's Pedro Pascal, who does the voice. I do believe Pedro was much more in the suit in that first season, but seasons 2 and 3, I don't believe he was in it a lot. Brendan Wayne, if you ever get the chance to meet him, is such a cool dude, and he actually happens to be the grandson of John Wayne, so that's just coolness personified if you ask me. Speaking of cool, next up we do have Ahsoka Tano, signed by the one and only Rosario Dawson. She is absolutely a sweetheart. We met her at Star Wars Celebration. She spent like a good amount of time with us. Yeah, don't have anything but good things to say about her. And then, I mean, the guy who just absolutely oozes coolness no matter where he goes, Moff Gideon. Well, Moff Gideon's not cool, but the guy who plays him is Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, love that guy. I've also got General Grievous here by his lonesome. Why is he alone, you ask? Well, not only is he a badass villain, but he actually happens to be the only pop I have from the movies signed. I definitely need to rectify that in the future, but he is signed by the voice of General Grievous, Matthew Wood, who does so much sound work in all of the Star Wars movies and series. He did also write the quote, "Crush them," and also did it in the green and blue colours to match the lightsabers, which I was going to ask for, but he did it without me even asking. And we're going to finish up Star Wars with a bang with one of the most cherished pieces in my signed collection, guys, the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader 2-pack, signed by both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. I actually got to meet them both at Star Wars Celebration in London back in 2023, and if anyone's wondering about the guest interactions, to be perfectly honest, you didn't really get much time with them at all. It was kind of like a conveyor belt. What do you want signed? They move you on to the next person who's asking like, what pen color do you want? And then it kind of gets handed off down the line to either Hayden or Ewan. It moved very, very quickly, to be fair. But yeah, it would have been nicer to have a little bit more interaction. I'd say I got maybe 10 to 15 seconds with Hayden. Pretty much just said, you know, thanks for everything you've done with Star Wars. I was a big fan of the prequels. I didn't tell him, like, for Attack of the Clones, I didn't think he was so great, to be honest. But I feel like Revenge of the Sith, he was amazing. And then he came back finally to Ahsoka. I mentioned I couldn't wait to see him in Ahsoka, and he was like, thank you so much. With Ewan, yeah, barely any time at all. Much less, probably like 5 to 7 seconds, I want to say. Just pretty much said, Ewan, thanks for coming, awesome to meet you, and he just kind of looked up and thanked me. That was pretty much it. But yeah, as I said, this one of the most cherished pieces in my signed collection. I love the fact that I did manage to get it in the kind of blue and the red as well. The colors essentially matching the characters' lightsabers. And speaking of Star Wars Celebration, we are actually heading to Japan later this year in April. We're going to be like vlogging our whole trip. We're actually there for like 3.5 weeks. We're going to check out a whole bunch of different places, experience the culture, the food, check out, of course, a lot of anime stuff. As I said, Star Wars Celebration. We're going to vlog the whole holiday. So if you guys do want to join us for that, or if you're just happy watching my content, Funko Pop, statues, Legos, everything else we do, TCGs, please do subscribe. We really want to grow the channel in 2025. And make sure to also give the video a like. It does help. Right, we've done Star Wars gaming, so let's move on to gaming in general. I am actually a pretty big video game fan. I definitely don't play as much as I used to. Like my younger days, I would definitely consider myself a hardcore gamer. These days, I'm probably somewhere between casual and hardcore, if there even is such a distinction. Anyway, we have 4 great characters here from left to right. We have Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2, still the best assassin in my opinion, I think many people's opinions from that franchise, signed by his voice actor Roger Craig Smith, who has also voiced Sonic in many of the games as well as TV shows. I even got the quote, David, requiescat in pace. That's probably an absolutely awful pronunciation. If it is, I do apologize. If it isn't, I guess I should be happy with that. He's basically kind of putting me to death, right? That's what I said to him. My pop sadly is a little bit battered, but I really wanted to get this signed. He did also voice one of my favorite villains in Naruto, that we're going to get to soon because I have that signed. But I figured, you know what, I could always do a window swap at a later date. We then do have the Master Chief with the MA5B assault rifle, the 20 years Xbox GearShop exclusive, signed by his longtime voice actor Steve Downes. We have Geralt from the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt video game, signed by his voice actor Dave Cockle. I actually got him to, he wrote, "Hey David, care for a Gamer Gwen?" I just kind of said Gamer Gwen, and he kind of wanted to put my name and say care for a Gamer Gwen. That's quite how Geralt would say it, but it is what it is. And then lastly, over on the right, from Persona 5, which I'm playing right now. I feel like I've been playing it for ages. I'm like 83 hours in, I think, and still have a ways to go. But we do have Panther, signed by Erica Harlacker Stone, with the quote, "Dance Carmen." So I figured I'd group these two together, not only because they're PlayStation exclusives, but they also happen to be the last 2 Funko Pops I actually added to the signed collection. So we do have the Kratos and Atreus 2-pack from God of War, signed by both the voice actors Christopher Judge and Sonny Suljic. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I do apologize if I am mistaken. So Christopher Judge, I actually got him to write the quote, "Do not be sorry, boy, be better," in white, signed in red. And with Sonny, I didn't even ask him for a quote. I was just going to get it signed, and he wrote the quote himself, "Don't be sorry, father, be better," which I thought was really, really cool. Both lovely dudes, especially Christopher Judge. He was super duper late to the con, and he was just so apologetic. He's so soft-spoken. He's like the epitome, is that the right word? Epitome of a gentle giant. And then we do have Jin Sakai, signed by his voice actor Daisuke Tsuji. He did actually also, he always writes in kanji Jin Sakai's name here on the side, and I actually went with a quote, "Honor died on the beach." If you guys can read that, there it goes into focus. I also wanted to group these together for a third reason, actually, to show you, because a lot of people do ask me, what pens do I use? It's always Sharpie oil-based paint pens, guys, or at least oil-based in general. Water-based is still not so bad. You guys have seen some of mine like that. The Giancarlo Esposito one was like a vibrant white pen. That was water-based. And some of my other great ones are, but they take a long time to dry. They're much more susceptible to cracking and scratching at a later date. You definitely have to take really good care with them. The oil-based dries super quick and are less susceptible to that. But you do really have to prep your paint pen. So I grouped these together. The third reason, I use the exact same paint pen, probably 30 to 40 minutes between each other, and you can see the difference. So Jinsuke went to Daisuke Tsuji first, and I just didn't prep the paint pen well enough. I didn't mind it because it kind of came out bloody, because this is the GameStop exclusive bloody variant, so it does kind of work. I don't mind it on the side. Maybe the signature could have been a bit more vibrant, a bit more like Christopher Judge's auto here on the Kratos pop. But yeah, this one I definitely prepped a lot more, and that's why it is a lot more vibrant. If you guys do want to see me do a signed Funko Pop tutorial video where I talk about pens and prep work, etc, drop a comment below. You know, if there's enough interest, I'll definitely do one. And the last two signed gaming Funko Pops in my collection are two characters that I absolutely adore from two franchises that I absolutely freaking love, and they are played by voice acting legends. On the left there we have Nathan Drake from Uncharted, signed by the one and only Nolan North, and on the right we have the GameStop exclusive Joel from The Last of Us, signed by the one and only Troy Baker. He did also write the quote on the side of mine, "I got you, baby girl." Onto the signed Pokemon collection next, and although Pokemon does fall under Pop Games, it's kind of anime and animation, but it's Pokemon, right? So it deserves to stand by itself. So then we do have these 25th anniversary silver chrome variants that I got signed by Ash Ketchum's original English voice actor, Veronica Taylor. So we do actually have Pikachu Thunderbolt, Bulbasaur Vine Whip, Squirtle Water Gun, and Charmander Flamethrower. The cool thing is, I did also actually meet her during a 25th anniversary celebration. At that same con was also Jay Goad or Philip Bartlett. I'm not really too sure. I guess it, like, pseudonym, is that the correct thing? When someone kind of has a different acting name or something like that. But yeah, he signed my Mewtwo Funko Pop. He voiced Mewtwo in the original Pokemon movie. He may have voiced him in additional things as well. I'm just not entirely sure. But he did draw this really cool little Mewtwo doodle. I love it when they add these things to my pops. Also, let me know in the comment section below, do you guys like it when an actor or a voice actor adds like a little doodle or something onto your pop? And the next franchise is actually very similar, because the pops also fall under the Pop Games category, but there is of course the phenomenal animated series. I am of course talking about Critical Role Vox Machina. Bottom left then we do have Grog Strongjaw, I would like to rage. That's an absolutely awful impression, especially because he says it with, pardon me, much more vigor. We have it signed by the great Travis Willingham. In the middle, bottom middle there, we have Keyleth, signed by Marisha Ray with David, I have passed through fire. On the bottom right, we do have Percival Derolo III, signed by the one and only Taliesin Jaffe. Then if we go top left, I keep saying the one and only because these guys are all one and onlys. They're individuals, so talented. I love them all. But yeah, top left, we have Scanlan Shortholt, signed by Sam Riegel. You know, voice acting royalty, I always call her this because she is, right, in both anime as well as video games and other animated series. Vexalia, signed by Laura Bailey with David Darling. I don't know why the girls like insisted on putting my name on the pop. I don't necessarily mind it so much. I do honestly kind of prefer a quote sometimes, but yeah, I don't necessarily mind that. It's still kind of personalized, right? And then wrapping things up top right, we do have her brother Vaxeldan, signed by Liam O'Brien. All right, moving on to animation proper then, although I guess this is technically under the Pop Marvel line, we do have the PX Previews exclusive Miles Morales from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, signed by his voice actor Shameik Moore. I've just left it on its own because I actually don't own any other animated movie pops, if that makes sense. I mentioned earlier Ryan Hurst, who played OP in Sons of Anarchy, was probably the worst guest interaction I've ever had, and although that is kind of true, this one probably would be second. It wasn't so bad. I kind of heard mixed things with Shameik Moore when he came to Comic-Con Liverpool I think it was 2023. Like, he didn't want to be there, he didn't care, he wasn't that interactive. With me, he wasn't too bad. I just felt he seemed like really tired, like he was either jet lagged or maybe sick. That's just what it came across. But you know, we still had a little bit of a chat, but yeah, it wasn't kind of the best guest interaction, but it wasn't horrendous either. Next up, I got two pops from the amazing Arcane League of Legends. And you know what? I just realized these are under the Pop Television banner. I honestly thought they were Pop Animation. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's an animated TV series, right? But in my opinion, the second best American animated TV series of all time. I'm not including anime in that, American animation. What do I consider the best of all time? That's actually coming up very, very shortly. But let's get through these first. So on the left, we have Jinx, signed by the wonderful Ella Purnell. Sadly, she was just very, very busy, so she didn't do any quotes or anything like that. But I think the pink came out really well. That was actually suggested by the guy, the handler from MCM Comic Con, so thank you, dude, for suggesting that. I think it did come out really well. And then we did also meet Jason Spizak or Spizak. I never actually know how you pronounce his name, so apologies for that. But he played Silco, and he was absolutely wonderful, both as Silco and in person. Such a nice gentleman. Probably the best, like, what am I trying to say here? Best dressed guest I've ever seen at a Comic-Con. But I did also get a quote. He was doing quotes, and I got the will show them all. I thought it was pretty fitting. But yeah, very happy to add these into the collection. Definitely want to get more signed Arcane Pops. You know, hopefully Haley Steinfeld will come one day and we can get that Vi signed as well. So this, guys, is what I consider the greatest American animated series of all time, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Absolutely freaking love the show. Cannot wait to see more of it. I know we've got like more animated stuff coming. So I haven't checked out the live action. I definitely need to do that. It's on a list of many things to watch, to be honest. But yeah, let's go through these then. Bottom left, we do have Zuko. This is the Chase variant signed by his voice actor Dante Basco. I did actually get the quote, "I don't want any calming tea." It's actually a mistake. It's actually, "I don't need any calming tea." I'm not so bothered about that. That was my fault. I didn't really look it up properly. In the center, bottom center, then we have Aang on the air scooter, the Hot Topic exclusive. And I went with a quote, "Will you go penguin sledding with me?" It is signed by Zach Tyler Eisenhunt. You guys probably can't even see the orange there. That's again just a consequence of not preparing the paint pen properly. Bottom right then, we've got Toph signed by Michaela Murphy, who also goes by the name Jessie Flower, again similar to the Mewtwo voice actor Jay Goad, aka Philip Bartlett from earlier. I went with the quote, you've seen nothing once, you've seen it 1,000 times," which is one of my favorite quotes. Toph, my favorite character from the series, absolutely hilarious. Top left, we have Admiral Zhao, signed by Jason Isaacs. Top middle, we have Kyoshi, the Entertainment Earth exclusive Glow in the Dark edition, signed by Jennifer Hale, legendary voice actor as well. And then top right, we do have Suki, signed by Jenny Kwan, her voice actor. And again, you guys may not be able to make that quote out too much. Again, I didn't really prepare the white paint pen too much, but it is, "I am a woman," I am a warrior, but I'm a girl too, which I think is a great quote for her. I do also have, I couldn't really fit it in the shot with everything, I do actually have a Korra Funko Pop sign as well, the Box Warehouse exclusive, the Glow in the Dark variant, pardon me, signed by her voice actor Janet Varney with "I'm the Avatar, you gotta deal with it." And I do actually have one more signed Avatar Funko Pop, and this is actually number 2 of 3 of my most cherished signed Funko Pops in the collection. It also happens to be the most expensive Funko Pop that I actually own. It is the Pop Digital NFT 999 piece Fire Nation Aang. I would actually be interested if anyone knows what the official piece count is, because not everyone actually claims these. I think the frontman, is it? I think that's his name, from Squid Games, although it's like 999 pieces, I feel only like 450 are out there that have actually been redeemed. I'd be interested to know what the number is for Fire Nation Aang. In terms of a quote, I went, "Anyone's capable of great good and great evil." Probably the best quote I think that Aang says in the series. Zach Tyler Eisen's super awesome dude, by the way. I mean, all of the Avatar guests are kind of like the loveliest guests you would ever meet. He did also sign it as Kuzan with Aang in brackets, because Kuzan was of course his code name when they were infiltrating the Fire Nation. Moving on to all of my signed anime pops then, and like we did with TV, this is a mishmash of various different anime franchises where I do only own one signed pop within that franchise. So bottom left then, we have the Over9000.com exclusive Margin Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, signed by the legendary Chris Sabat. Yes, that is the only Dragon Ball pop I have signed, believe it or not. Next, we do have Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho, also signed by Chris Sabat with a quote Spirit Sword. We have Nishiki Nishiki from Tokyo Ghoul, signed by the great Eric Vale with a quote, "Sorry old friend, but time's up." Also signed by Eric Vale, we do have Ferid from Seraph of the End with the quote, "Come on, don't you want to play?" Up top from Soul Eater, we do have Liz, signed by Jamie Marchi. I actually couldn't think of a quote, so I just got her to sign it. Normally with anime pops, I do tend to get a quote. Mind you, I didn't get one with Margin Vegeta either. And then up top, like the last one we have there, Sasha, the Chalice Collectibles exclusive, signed by Megan Shipman. You guys actually can't even see that. Again, this was a paint pen that I didn't prep properly. I did actually go with a quote, if it goes into focus there, even if you guys can see that, it just looks like a red pen, doesn't it? But it does say, are we eating soon, pardon me. From the wonderful Fruits Basket, we do have the Specialty Series Yu-Gi-Oh! Rats signed once again by Eric Vale with the quote, Stupid Cat. And we do also have Toru Honda signed once again by the great Laura Bailey. She did also write David Never Give Up and also gave me a little doodle on there. On then to what many consider the greatest anime of all time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Although the Alex Armstrong pop is technically from the original Full Metal Alchemist anime, it is the GameStop Glitter variant exclusive, and I do have mine signed once again by the legendary Chris Sabat with the quote, Destruction Creation are the sides of the same coin. He then actually forgot to write the rest of the quote, which is you must destroy to create, so he decided to put it here on the side, and I love the fact that he added in these sparkles as well that we see on the character. And then we do also have Reza Hawkeye here, signed by the great Colleen Clinkenbeard. I actually went with the quote, it's amazing how uncanny his timing is when she gets off the phone with Roy Mustang. There's probably a couple other quotes that I maybe would have preferred because I actually did a recent rewatch of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I still do love that quote. I've also got two pops from One Punch Man, which I consider one of maybe even the most funniest anime. It made me holler, especially when I gave it a recent rewatch, and cannot wait for season 3. So we've got Genos signed by Zach Aguilar with a quote, I will eliminate you, incinerate. And then we have Saitama signed by Max Middleman with crap, I forgot to buy kombu soup stock. I thought it went pretty well with the pop because he is carrying the grocery bag, you know, when he like disintegrates Kombu Infinity. I think that was the character's name. And then because it looks like kombu soup stock, he like kind of remembers he forgot to pick it up. And then he actually boils it in the next scene. It's kind of gnarly. I really also hope we do get more One Punch Man Funko Pops because there's actually not that many to collect. I mean, this was like the original wave. They brought out a couple more after that. We definitely need more characters. There's tons in One Punch Man. Another anime that absolutely cracks me up is Black Clover. I hope it does return to our screens sooner rather than later. I do have 4 Funko Pops signed in the collection. Now that first one, you're probably thinking, is that even signed, guys? Nozel Silver signed by Rico Fajardo. So a little bit of a story on this one. Maybe if I hold it up to the light, you guys can see it more. For some reason, he charges a little bit extra to have this one signed. When I spoke to his agent, it was something about this pop being really hard to get in the US. And I was like, well, it's not that hard to get here in the UK. Like the store behind me literally has 6 or 7 in stock. And she was just like, oh, well, maybe they're all over here then, but it's not going to change. There is a premium for this. So it was really, really annoying. I was almost tempted to just back out and not get it signed, to be honest, but I went ahead, and annoyingly enough, Rico, who was a super lovely dude, by the way, nothing like against him on it, but he said he typically signs it in this pen, because I was like, I don't know which pen to go for. I've got like a silver, and he said it's kind of like this silvery purplish pen, which, yeah, it kind of makes sense, but it just doesn't look good at all. You can't really see it right. Yeah, that's his signature. That's the character name. And then we do actually have the quote on the side, Mercury, Magic, Rain of Silver, if you guys can kind of make it out. I mean, it kind of works in the light, but yeah, outside of the light, it isn't so great, sadly enough. But then we do have Yami, absolutely friggin' love that character, again, signed by the legendary Chris Sabat with Dark Magic, Dark Cloaked, Dimension Slash. He actually did these multiple colours without me even asking. Even the character name, you guys probably can't tell, is down there in gold at the bottom. Kind of messing things all a bit up here. We then have the Chalice Collectibles glow-in-the-dark exclusive Charlotte, signed again by the great Colleen Clinkenbeard with a Clinkenbeard, sorry. I called it Clinging Bird, didn't I? Clinging Beard. With Briar Creation Magic, Corpse Hunting Briar Tree. And then lastly, we do also have Julius. I love that character too. So funny. With Manazone, Chrono, Stasis, Grigori. I think that's how you pronounce that anyway. The cool thing about the Julius pop, when I met Rob McCullum, it had just come out. And although he had signed a few in the US, he said he'd never signed any in Europe. So he decided to write here on the side, first pop signed in Europe with the date 16th of February 2024. Not much of a flex, but I still think that's pretty cool nonetheless, and I'll definitely take it. For Jujutsu Kaisen, I do actually only have 4 signed ones. I definitely need more of the voice actors to come over so we can add more signed JJK Funko Pops to the collection. But we do have Yuji Itadori, signed by Adam MacArthur with the quote Black Flash. I love how he kind of did the whole sort of Black Flash style there. I talked to him for such a long time as well. So all three of these guys are so super nice, to be honest. But yeah, we were talking to him for quite a long time. I was like ready to leave, and he kept telling me about this story of him going to Australia and offending people and stuff like that. It's all pretty funny, and I kind of felt sorry for the people behind me, but he just really wanted to tell me this story. Lovely guy though, very, very talkative. In the middle, we do have Satoru Gojo. That is actually the WonderCon. I can't remember which year it was. Which year was that one? The WonderCon. Is there even a year on it? Either way, it's the con. Oh yeah, there it is. 2023. The con exclusive sticker variant of Satoru Gojo. Went with the quote, domain expansion infinite void, signed by KG Tang. And then there on the right, we do have Megumi Fushiguro with the Divine Dog, signed by the great Robbie Damon with the quote, demon dogs, eat it boy. He did it in all these multiple colors and even drew this thing here on the side. Robbie Damon, like as I said, all of three of these guys, absolutely awesome. But Robbie Damon, definitely one of the nicest anime guests I've ever met. I mean, it's harsh to say that because all the anime guests have always been lovely. I've never had a bad experience with any of them. But yeah, just something about Robbie Damon. He really felt you like made you welcome, if that makes sense. Like it's like he really wanted to be there and interact with his fans. Now, I said there were 4 signed JJK ones. I do also have the Yuji Itadori and Ao Todo 2-pack, but it is only signed by Adam MacArthur at the moment with I Like a Tall Woman with a Nice Big Ass. Definitely need Xander Mobus to come over. He voiced Todo. He also voices Toga and Umaki and has done tons of different characters in various different animes. So yeah, Xander, well, you're probably not watching, but please do come to the UK soon. I've got a ton of Funko Pops for you to sign. Next is Fairy Tail, and I actually have 5 signed characters from the beloved anime. From left to right, we have Frosh signed by Dawn M. Bennett with the quote, Frosh thinks so too. We have Happy signed by Tia Ballard with the quote, Aye sir. She did also draw a little doodle of Happy eating a fish there on the side. I don't know if you guys can quite see that. Let me bring it in a bit close. As I said, these extras are always really cool, really fun. I do like them a lot. We have Urza signed by Colleen Klinkenbeard with the quote, you don't die for your friends, you live for them. We have Jalal signed by Robert McCullum with the quote, the loneliest people are the kindest, the saddest people are the wisest. And we do also have Mira Jane signed by Monica Rial with the quote, welcome to the Fairy Tail Guild. Next is an anime that I both cherish and adore and really hope it comes back to our screens sooner rather than later. I am, of course, talking about Hunter x Hunter. I just love this friggin' anime, man. The world building, the characters, the story, it's just so amazing. If it was further along, it would arguably be my favorite anime of all time. I mean, as it stands, it's definitely in my top 10, maybe even my top 5. Speaking of 5, that is the number of characters that I do have signed. So from left to right, we do have Komagi signed by Ryan Bartley. Let me actually bring this in a little bit closer because you guys may not see. She did actually write the quote and sign it all in different colors, which is really cool. We have Good Night Miruim, It'll Be Alright, I'll Be Joining You Soon. She is such a sweet lady. We then have Kuropika, the FYE exclusive with those awesome scarlet red eyes. You Will Never Break These Chains, signed by the equally wonderful Erica Harlacker Stone. We've then got Killua, probably my favorite character, if not top 2 favorite characters in Hunter x Hunter, signed by the wonderful Christina V. I went with the quote, I'm not an assassin anymore, I'm a hunter. It's my favorite quote of Killua's, and yeah, Christina said it's one of her favorite quotes as well. We then have the Hot Topic exclusive diamond variant of Hisoka, signed by the wonderful Keith Silverstein. I mean, his voice for villains is just so eerie, so cool, and he's such a lovely dude. I went with the quote, love and hate are 2 sides of the same coin. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Chalice Collectibles exclusive Crollo, signed once again by the awesome Robbie Damon. I went with the quote, we dedicate this requiem to you. He also drew the spider symbol of the Phantom Troop on the side. Yeah, it's just always cool. I mean, I've said this 3 or 4 times now when they add these little doodles and extras onto the pops. So we've got Demon Slayer up next. I'm actually going to split these up a little bit so we don't have so many Funko Pops on the screen at one time. These are 2 incomplete 2-packs. So first up is the Target exclusive Tundra and Nezuko, signed so far only by Zach Aguilar with the quote, no matter what it takes, your big brother will save you. Now, Abby Trott, who voices Nezuko, was in the UK last year, but it was Comic-Con Scotland, and I actually couldn't get up there. I can't remember what I was doing around the time, but maybe even finance-wise, it just didn't really make sense. So hopefully she does come to a con kind of a little bit closer to home for me, you know, London, Midlands, Liverpool, something like that. So we can finally complete this and I can get that signed. And then we do also have the Makamo and Sabito 2-pack released during New York Comic Con 2023. So far only signed by Makamo's voice actress. Once again, Ryan Bartley, who we just saw, signed my Komagi Funko Pop. She also signed this one in multiple different colours with those flowers as well. Train Until It Kills You. Yeah, so sweet. I've also got a couple of single Tanjiro signed by Zach Aguilar, including the Galactic Toys exclusive with the quote Hinakami Kagura, the Box Lunch exclusive with that Water Dragon with the quote Water Breathing 10th Form Constant Flux, and I do also have Canal signed by Brianna Knickerbocker with Flower Breathing Final Form. She also did it in this multiple colours, purple, green, as well as the pink flowers. In terms of the Hashira, I am only doing rookie numbers with 3, but will definitely be adding more at a later date. So from left to right, we have the Funko Shop exclusive Shinobu signed by Erica Harlacher Stone with the quote Insect Breathing Butterfly Dance and Caprice. In the middle, we have Muichiro Tokito signed by Griffin Burns with the quote, what was the shape of that cloud again? What was it called? He did also draw some clouds here on the side. And then lastly, we do have Saname Shinazagawa signed by Keiji Tang with the quote, Come on out, Demon. It's the human blood you love so much with Demon and Blood in red. And completing my signed Demon Slayer collection from left to right, we have the Summer 2022 convention exclusive Enmu signed by Landon McDonald with the quote, To Die in the Rapture of a Dream, a blessing indeed. Genya Shinazagawa signed by Xena Robinson with the quote, I'll be the one who becomes Hashira. And last but certainly not least, I feel I've said that for Robbie Damon a couple of times now, we do have Mr. Haganetsuka with the quote, How dare you snap my precious sword in two. And once again, he drew a doodle on the side of a Nichiren blade. Moving on to My Hero Academia, and this may actually be the franchise I have the most signed Funko Pops in. It's definitely either My Hero or Star Wars. We're actually going to start with some 2-packs, but I'm going to start from the right this time because that is an incomplete 2-pack. The one on the left, as you can see, very much complete. So it is the Anime Expo 2022 exclusive Gentle Criminal and La Brava, and I have it so far only signed by La Brava's voice actor Megan Shipman with the quote, I'll die before I'm going to be separated from you, Gentle. Really need John Gramillion, who voices Gentle Criminal, to come over to the UK because he's voiced a few other characters I'd like to get signed as well. One of them is Draco Mihawk from One Piece. And then, as I mentioned, I do actually have, for once, a completed signed 2-pack. Although now I think about it, the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader from earlier is completed. But it is Tomoe and Shigaraki and Overhaul, the Funimation 2021 exclusive. We have Shigaraki signed by Eric Vale with the quote, I'm the next leader, I'll turn Hero Society to dust. And then I also have it signed by Overhaul's voice actor, Kellen Goff, with the quote, a goal with no plan is called a delusion, which is actually the Japanese, like the original Japanese wording, if we can call it that. They changed it for the English one. I didn't really do my homework. I just kind of found the quote online and I quite liked it. And he actually knew that that was the original Japanese wording. And he said he liked both, to be honest, and then he just decided to write the Japanese one anyhow. The only signed 6-inch Funko Pop I have from my collection is also from My Hero Academia. It is the Hot Topic exclusive Mount Lady signed by Jamie Marchi. I went with a quote, you got this, I believe in you, baby heroes. And she actually also drew the like money shot here on the side. If you ever meet Jamie Marchi, she's very much like a kind of sassy, cheeky character. And speaking of the baby heroes, these are the 4 that I currently have signed in my collection. From left to right, we got Katsuki Bakugo signed by Clifford Chapin, Momo Yayorozo signed by Colleen Klinkenbeard with the quote, together as one, we'll take down this villain. The Funimation 2020 exclusive Ochako Uraraka signed by Lucy Christian with the quote, I'll see you in the finals. And then we have Suyu signed by Monica Rial with the quote, just call me Sue Ribbit. Now, fun fact, the Katsuki Bakugo figure on the left was the first signed Funko Pop I ever got back in 2022. I didn't even come with a quote. To be honest, even these two, I didn't really come prepared. These were 2 earlier ones that I got signed as well. And they thankfully came up with these quotes themselves. And yeah, that's what Clifford Chapin actually wrote on that pop. He is back in the UK actually at AnimeCon UK in June. I'm tempted to get another Bakugo Funko Pop signed because I'd love to get one with a quote with his hero name, you know, Great Explosion, Murder God Dynamite. I think that's correct off the top of my head. Just such a crazy, funny moment from the... Wait, it wasn't the last season. It was the season before, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, just... absolutely like made me crack up. So funny. But yeah, that shouldn't have actually been the first Funko Pop that I got signed. It should have been Justin Briner, who voices Deku, the main character in My Hero Academia. But when I was there, so it was MCM Comic Con London May 2022, I could only attend the Friday and Justin was supposed to be there. I was like number 2 or 3 in the queue, and then like right as guests were starting to come out, they came out and said, yeah, I'm really sorry, Justin's had to cancel his Friday appearance. He's only coming, tomorrow and Sunday, and unfortunately I couldn't attend, so it was super duper annoying. Hopefully Justin does come back one day so we can finally get a signed Deku into the collection. We've got a few more heroes here from left to right. We've got Mirio Togata signed by Rico Fajardo. If you guys saw earlier with Nozel, he does tend to write the quotes on the side. We have turn experience into power. In the middle, we do have the sweet and lovely Eri, signed by Emily Neves. These people aren't going to give up, not until I'm safe. And then we do also have the 2021 Spring Convention exclusive Nejire, signed by her voice actor Lindsay Seidel, who I think is truly amazing. I think in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? Range? Yeah, range is a good word. I think she has such great range. She's played so many different characters, and the voice is like so different a lot of the time. Not that I'm like hitting on other voice actors. Like I can always recognize Chris Sabat or Patrick Seitz, and I love that too. Those guys are just legends in the game. But yeah, I'm just trying to say that her voice, like there's such a range to her voice. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like I've said range way too much. But yeah, she signed my Nejire Pop with the quote, Spiraling Surge, Nejire Wave. And then we have the last of our few heroes, although Hero Killer Stain, is he a hero? I mean, we'll get to him in just a second because we're going to go from left to right on this one. So we do have Hawks, signed by Xena Robinson with a quote, my name is Hawks, a man too fast for my own good. In the middle, we do have the Weakened All Might signed. I mean, I was like, which All Might do I get signed? But I really like this one, and I really like the quote, now it's your turn, signed once again by the legendary Chris Sabat. We actually spoke and said, it would have been so cool if they actually made the pop pointing, and he agreed. He said, hopefully it comes out one day. And then, yeah, we have Hero Killer Stain, like, he is the hero killer, so is he a hero? But if you guys kind of know the story and what happens, and I really won't spoil too much, he's kind of like, anti-hero, can we call him that? Either way, I have mine signed by Robert McCullum with the quote, hero in red, I will reclaim that word, just try and stop me fakes. And once again, I say once again, I don't know if he did draw any other doodles on any other signed ones I got from him, but there is a doodle of a bloody sword. Finishing up the My Hero Academia signed collection, we have a trio of villains. From left to right, we have Redestro, signed by Sonny Strait with a quote, this world will change at the hands of Redestro. You guys may actually see some blue there underneath the green. I'd asked for the quote in green, and he started writing in blue, and then he realized his mistake and started to correct it. He did also draw a doodle here on the side, which is really, really cool. This was a little bit extra though. It wasn't a freebie or anything like that. We do have the Entertainment Earth exclusive Chase Tomura Shigaraki there in the center, signed by Eric Vale with a quote, the only thing I want is to destroy. The reason I went with a Chase variant, because normally I try to avoid things which are sticker heavy, is because I actually own it twice. I ordered that one from a store here in the UK called DJ Collectibles, who do typically get in a lot of US stickers, but that pre-order took a little while, and then it actually dropped on Funko Europe, and I actually bought 2 of them and did get the Chase and Common combo. So yeah, I actually own the Chase twice. That is the reason I got that one signed. And then we do have the Chalice Collectibles exclusive overhaul, signed by Kellen Goff. I didn't actually go with a quote or anything on that one. In fact, the pen, I don't remember if that was my pen or his pen. Either way, you can see it wasn't super duper prepped. We actually have kind of like the mask face there as well. But yeah, I didn't go for a quote with it because I'd got the quote already on the 2-pack. All right, 2 final anime franchises to go, guys, and they happen to be my 2 favorite animes of all time. So first up, we have Naruto, and I actually have a trio of the namesake character here, all signed by Miley Flanagan. If you ever get the chance to meet her, she is a super cool, awesome lady. Very kind of sassy. She's got a bit of a potty mouth. I absolutely freaking love her. But yeah, we have the Naruto Rasengan with Rasengan as the quote, we have the sexy jutsu pop with the sexy jutsu quote, and then we do also have the Boruto Hokage pop with the quote, I will become Hokage someday. I've also got Gaara signed by Liam O'Brien with the quote, Sand Burial, as well as Ino signed by Kolino Shaughnessy with the quote, Mind Transfer Jutsu. Now you guys will see the pop is conspicuous by its absence, and don't get me wrong, I do feel it's a little bit crazy to take a pop out of a signed box, because then you're just kind of staring at this blank window with a bit of writing on it. But I really did need her for my Konoha 11 out-of-box shelf display. That's also the same reason Data is missing from his box, because I have him in my Akatsuki out-of-box display. If you guys are wondering why Pain is still in his box, that's because I had a different variant of Pain so he could go in that display. There's a link, by the way, if you wanted to check out the display when I put it together along with my One Piece shelf as well. So yeah, Data we have signed by Roger Craig Smith with the quote, True art is an explosion. We have different colors. Roger Craig Smith, super cool dude, as I mentioned earlier, the longtime voice of Sonic in many different iterations, like games, series, etc, etc. And then yeah, we have Pain, Almighty Push, signed by Troy Baker. Yes, Troy Baker started out doing anime dubbing back in the day, and we actually have the awesome quote, may have to pull back for this one. He did it all in the different colors as well. I didn't even ask for this. This world shall know pain, so we got the purple to represent the Rinnegan Eye, Pain in red, Almighty Push also in red, and the autograph in orange. Yeah, this one's really, really cool. I do like it a lot. So I just literally mentioned One Piece, and that's going to be our next and final franchise of this video. It also happens to be my joint favorite anime of all time, along with Naruto. So we've actually got the Hot Topic exclusive Buggy the Clown up here first, and I wanted to do Buggy by itself to raise some awareness for the voice actor. So firstly, let's go through the quote. I went with how's the muggy ball like a robust financial market, because it goes boom. That always made me laugh. It was like this joke he made during the Marineford arc. He throws a muggy ball at Draco Mihawk, who deflects it, and it goes back and goes boom in Buggy and his crew's face. So it is signed by his voice actor Mike McFarland, who, if you guys didn't know, just recently recovered from emergency brain surgery. I believe he had like a ear infection or like complaints about his ear, went in to get checked, and yeah, they literally decided to do emergency surgery to remove a tumor. It's just absolutely insane. But he is on the mend. The surgery went well. You know, he's posted quite a few thank you messages, but there is a GoFundMe that's been raised by Brandon McInnes, as well as J. Michael Tatum, other famous voice actors. Brandon was Gyotaro in Demon Slayer, as well as Sir Night-Eye in My Hero Academia, and his husband J. Michael Tatum. I mean, we're talking Irvin in Attack on Titan, Tenya Ida in My Hero Academia. He's been in tons and tons of things, right? But yeah, they raised this GoFundMe. It's already raised like close to $130,000, which is insane. But yeah, I know, like, you guys in the US, you know, medical costs can like be soaring for things like that. So, you know, go and donate. You know, if you've been a fan of his, you know, we're talking, as I said, Buggy the Clown. He's voiced Master Roshi in Dragon Ball for a long time. He voiced Gene in, is it Gene or is it Jean? Man, I haven't watched Attack on Titan for a while, but he voiced Jean Kirstein, I think that was his name, wasn't it? And he's also been an ADR for such a long time, you know, essentially the person who directs the voice actors in the dubbing of these animes that we love and watch. You know, he's directed for One Piece, for Dragon Ball. He was the main guy for Attack on Titan, the main director for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You know, he's had such a great career. So, you know, if you can donate even just a few dollars, I'll have a link to his GoFundMe down below. He's such an awesome dude. It was a pleasure to meet him and talk to him and get this Buggy the Clown Funko Pop signed. In terms of the straw hats, I have 6 of the 10 crew members signed. So starting bottom left, we have Rowan Ozoro, signed by, once again, the legendary voice actor Chris Sabat, with the quote, Nothing Happened. It is actually the Nothing Happened pop. I just peeled that crappy special edition sticker off there. I honestly don't like it. I know you guys have probably seen a few where I have it signed with a special edition sticker, but I tend to prefer the US or an exclusive sticker figure if I can get my hands on one. We then have Luffy in the middle there, signed by Colleen Clinkenbeard with the quote, "I still have my crew." She also drew me, a little straw hat in trade for a yellow pen because hers was running out. On the right, we have Vinsmoke Sanji, my favorite character in One Piece, if you were wondering, signed by Eric Vale with the quote, "I heard the sound of a woman's tears falling." Absolutely love that quote. He said he loved it too. Top left. No, you know what? Let's do top right. We do have the Funko Shop exclusive Samurai Brook, signed by Ian Sinclair with the quote, "Will be Samurai." He did also write "Yo ho ho" there on the side. I would have preferred to get the New York Comic Con exclusive one, but it's like, I think the second most expensive anime Funko Pop out there now, and couldn't get my hands on one before he came to MCM Comic Con London, last May, I think it was. In the middle, we have Nami, signed by Lucy Christian. I went with my priorities, a life first, then money, which is such a cool quote. And she also drew the little berry symbols in over the eyes. And then we do have Usopp, signed by Sunny Strait with special attack Tabasco Star. I showed you with Redestro earlier. He did also draw, actually let me bring it in a bit closer. He did also draw a doodle of Usopp here on the side because he is actually a really good artist. Yeah, I do quite like that a lot. And then there were four. These are the other single characters I have signed in my One Piece collection, guys. From left to right, we have the Chalice Collectibles exclusive Sniper King, signed by Sunny Strait with the quote, "Oh, the wind carries my name to Sniper Island far away." Don't worry, I am not going to quit my day job anytime soon. He did also draw the Sniper King doodle here on the side, like I got with some of the other Sunny Strait signed pops. We have Ace, signed by Travis Willingham with the quote, "Fire Fist." He did also, I was going to say draw, but I guess it's more right, the Ace tattoo here on the side, which is really, really cool. He asked if he could put it on there. I was like, hell yeah, I didn't even think about that, which represents Ace, Sabo, Luffy, but Crybaby, and Edward Newgate, which is of course Whitebeard. We do then have Odin signed, the Toy Stop Collectibles exclusive. It actually has the WonderCon sticker on there, but that's something they put on. It wasn't like, it was like their exclusive release at WonderCon, if that makes sense. It wasn't like a Funko exclusive release. I don't know if that does make any sense, but yeah, Odin signed by Robbie Damon. I've mentioned how cool he is already, but this was arguably the core of this, right? So a lot of these voice actors will their prices include it's like extra for a quote, and if you're going for like a longer quote, it may even cost more. So he had, I honestly can't remember the prices, but for it costs so much for up to 6 words, and then it cost even more for over 6 words. And then I was like, I really like this quote, but there's just not really much room on it for the pop because of those stickers. So I went with a different quote, and then I said to him, because I had it crossed out, he was like, "Oh, did you not want this one?" And I was like, well, I just felt they didn't give you enough real estate on the pop, but yeah, it's kind of like my favorite Odin quote. And then he just started writing it, and I technically hadn't even paid for it because it is a longer quote. Obviously it's a lot smaller so he could fit it on there, but yeah, it's Odin wouldn't be Odin if it wasn't boiled. Yeah, Robbie Damon, as I said, such a cool, such a sweet dude. And then last but certainly not least, we have Doflamingo, such an awesome freaking villain, played so well as well by Rob McCullum. Yeah, it's like four Rob McCullum and 4 Robbie Damon pops I've actually got signed in the collection. May as well bring this one in close then as well, because we did with the others. Don't worry, I'll kill them all, white, red and pink. Yeah, so cool. But that isn't just it for the One Piece collection, because I've also got this bad boy right here, the third of the 3 most cherished pops in my signed collection. When I say the third as well, that's no like ranking, you know, these are all equal footing here. I just love all 3 of these so much. And this one, I just think it looks so freaking cool. The Going Merry, signed by the OG East Blue 5 Straw Hat crew members, along with their Grand Line pledges, their dreams, whatever you want to call it. So top left there, we have Lucy Christian signed as Nami. I'll draw a map of the entire world. Top right, we have Zoro signed by Chris Sabat, the world's best swordsman. Who else was going to be in the center, right? Luffy signed by Colleen Clinkenbeard. And what does he say? Of course, I'm going to be king of the pirates. Bottom left, we have Sanji signed by Eric Vale. find the all blue. And then bottom right, we do have Sunny Strait signed for Usopp to be a brave warrior of the sea. And again, there's even like a little doodle in there, which is really, really cool. I want to ask you guys though, drop some comments below. Do I add to this? So when you think about it, we've actually got Chopper, we've got Robin, and we've got Frankie who come, well, Frankie technically, but Chopper and Robin definitely sailed the Mary, right? Frankie was still aboard it, but he wasn't really a crew member. So do I actually add to this, or does it look like good enough as it is, right? Like, how it's kind of crossed as well, like X marks the spot, I kind of think it's perfect, but there is a chance, you know, to add like Brina Palencia for Chopper, to add Stephanie Young, you know, for Robin, even Patrick Seitz, as I said, for Frankie. There's even Brittany Karbowski actually voiced Mary herself, so there's always the opportunity to add to this one. And yeah, I know there's like bits on the top, there's like plastic on the side as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below, or do I just start a whole new thing with 1000 Sunny? And well, there we go guys, that is my current signed Funko Pop collection. If my count is correct, and it may not be because maths is definitely not my strongest subject, I believe I have 151 signed Funko Pops with 158 autographs, with plenty more to come in 2025. Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch today's video. If you want to watch some other videos, check out these links right here. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds!